Alright, so Survival Hunter um, shows a few things here. It'll be short and sweet. That rotationally, it's going to play the same as it does BFA wise, with the exception of um, Kill Shot is coming back baseline for all specs. If you're a marksman, you have a talent where you can get 2 kill shot charges like it used to be, but other specs you're going to get 1 charge on a 10-second cooldown. So we have an execute back. Not the most powerful execute right now, but ignoring tuning, as I've mentioned before. But yeah, rotationally it's going to play the same because all these talents are the same. I doubt chakrams will make a comeback. It's pretty weak in damage, and wildfire infusion and guerrilla tactics makes your bombs so versatile and powerful, which I personally prefer anyway. And chakrams doesn't have, like it did way back in the day, where it has a slow tied to it, so that's makes it even worse. All this is still the same as well, but we'll show you the few changes besides kill shot. It's all baseline stuff. You can ignore arcane shot because we're not going to be using a ranged weapon as survival. Aspect of the cheetah, now I know it's been this way for a while, but 3-minute cooldown for a sprint excuse me, is ridiculous. Same with their wall, 30% wall on a 3-minute cooldown. But yeah, like an example on this, rogues get sprint on a 60-second cooldown. So 3-minute cooldown? Are you kidding me? Monk, like, they can take Tiger's Lust on a 30-second cooldown for a sprint. So this is very archaic. Like, this needs to be changed big time. And this could even be tweaked if I'm honest, but this definitely, like, no question. Anyway, Hunter's Mark is back, so, rogue vanishes on you or whatever, and you had Hunter's Mark on him, you're gonna see him clear across the map. So, just like it used to be, very cool. And PvE, you'll get the fight, or all around, but just talking about strictly a PvE bonus for Hunter's Mark, you get that 5% extra damage on your target, so very cool. And Scare Beast is back, which is great. So we're going to see, and I'm thinking mostly PvP here, but Scare Beast on druids. So, harpoon in, see if he shifts or not. Trap if he doesn't. And then, go back to DPS and whatever, and then out of that, being able to Scare Beast. And that's not even taking into account intimidation. Stun, which is still a thing on a 1-minute cooldown. So, lots of CC options here. A stun, trap, Scare Beast on druids, or, hunter pets. If you're facing a BM and don't want to deal with that, there you go. I like that's back. Don't know why Steady Shot is back baseline, to be honest. Like, should still just be a marksman thing. But yeah. And Trank Shot is back on a 10-second cooldown, removes an enrage and a magic effect like it used to. But the weird thing is, as survival, and it's in the baseline tab, doesn't say it has a bow requirement here. But you can see the error that you get. You must have a bow equipped. So hopefully that's an oversight, because it definitely shouldn't be that way. And people could argue, well, it's a shot, right? But we have other shots that we can use as survival, so it's definitely not that. I think it's just a bug, an oversight that should hopefully get fixed. I've already put in a bug report, and I'm sure a million other people have as well. But yeah, those baseline things coming back are the biggest thing. Scare Beast, Trank Shot, Hunter's Mark, Kill Shot, are very cool additions. Because if you ask me, like, survival was already very fun anyway. So getting those abilities back, extra utility and stuff, is great. You know, and if they fix this for survival, and survival actually ends up being decent in PvE, then we won't have to use a purge pet. We can use whatever, you know, lust pad or a self-heal pad, whatever, right? And you'll still have enrage if raging is still an affix, and then we'll have a purge as well on a 10-second cooldown, just like a demon hunter. I don't know whether that's a little OP or not, having both those tied to this and a 10-second cooldown, because if you look at the demon hunter, theirs is 10 seconds, but it only does magic. But they also do get fury generation out of it, so maybe it's balanced. Not a big deal either way. But yeah, those are the survival changes. Figured I'd show you real quick. Hopefully you got something useful out of that, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, Monk. We'll start with Mistweaver. Not a bunch of playstyle changes really, but some cool stuff for sure. You can see your kit here is still the same. All these talents mostly are the same, except for, you can see they removed the base chi and tweaked it. It's basically, it's exactly Way of the Crane now for PvE. And I think they did that just because we're no longer going to have conflict and strife to gain that in PvE. So now you have Way of the Crane for PvE. Very, very cool. On a 2-minute cooldown. What's weird though is you also get the normal Way of the Crane on a 1-minute cooldown in PvP. So you could potentially stack those in PvP. Interesting, just to say the least. We'll see what happens there. As far as the rest of the PvP talents, they're all the same. Anyway, back to this stuff. So yeah, you can get Way of the Crane. One thing is though, they gave us back Yulon from several years back. So now you'll have, you know, a big group-wide cooldown, especially good for raids. They did tweak it a little bit. It's a very small Yulon, so it's not obnoxious. And he basically just, you know, he dances around from person to person healing. I'll just show you real quick. Little Yulon there. See, so he's just gonna hop around and heal everyone in your raid for X amount. But, you know, getting that back is very, very cool, because all we had AoE wise, you know, was Essence Font, which is really good for, you know, mastery procs basically. Like the heal itself isn't the best, but the fact that it procs mastery is what made it so great. And then Revival. But Revival, a decent heal, but it was more about AoE dispels than anything. So having this strictly for AoE healing back is great. But if you take Way of the Crane, you know, if you're going for more of the fist weaving style, then it's going to replace Yulon. But that's fine with me. I mean, that's, as far as I can remember, that's how it used to be anyway, is that, you know, it would replace the other one, right? So just having that one of those back in PvE is great. And I'll probably use Chi-Ji because I like the more offensive style. So it should be pretty cool there. Life Cocoons back to a 1.6 minute cooldown because we're losing the Azurite traits. But that's fine, you know, I think. Excuse me. Fort Brew. We did have this already as Mistweaver, but it's back baseline, so Windwalkers will be getting that back, which is awesome. The rest of this is still the same. Your mastery, all that, Gust of Mists. Expel Harm, once you get rank 2 at 52, you can cast it while you're soothing, so that's really cool. And baseline, you're getting expel harm back. Not the biggest heal, but like I said, once you get rank 2 as a Mistweaver, you can cast it while soothing. Extra heal, pretty cool. And it does 10% of that healing as nature damage to all enemies within 8 yards. Old functionality there. Touch of Death is back baseline, and it's like it used to be. Deals 35% of your maximum health against players. And against stronger creatures, bosses, rares, things like that, it's gonna do that when they're 15% or under in health, right? And then like minor mobs, it's just gonna instantly kill them. So I think we'll just walk up and can't do that yet. There we go. Had to get in combat first. So yeah, the smaller mob is just gonna instantly kill them. Usually not worth, you know, unless you're just in a hurry, but that's back. And the rest of it's still the same. You still have Mystic Touch. So that's cool. I'll look at Windwalker real quick. Not gonna show Brewmaster because I usually don't tank. When I do, it's usually Brewmaster, so maybe I'll come back and make a video on that. We'll see. Core kit's all the same. Mastery still combo strikes. Abilities are mostly the same. We might see Energizing Elixir make a comeback at the beginning of the expansion when our haste is low and our energy regen is low and stuff. Because it gives you that 75 energy over 5 plus 2 chi, as opposed to the damage and the 3 chi of Fist of the White Tigers. So that might be a thing for PvE, possibly even PvP as we start the expansion. But I'll mess with all that stuff more. These are all pretty good, to be honest. The rest of it here is still the same. Dance of Chi-Ji, since we're losing the Azurite trait, they're bringing it as a talent here. So they removed Zwen from here and put that trait in its place, which is great. Because that was a really good trait, very powerful. Last row is the same, but yeah, Dance of Chi-Ji here. And I was kind of bummed about losing Zwen, but then I looked, and we have Zwen back baseline as Windwalker, so very cool there. So we get that extra. Yeah, Fort Brew, like I said, is back baseline. So but it is nerfed a little bit. I think it was 20% in BFA, and now it's 15. But that's when this was originally out. I'm pretty sure it was 15 anyway. So they're just kind of bringing back the old spell the way it was. 2-minute cooldown wall. 15% isn't much, but you know, we still get these choices here. So a big magic wall. We got someone attacking me. She's retard. We have no trinket yet. Devs, whatever. He's probably gonna come back and kill me though, because now I have no cooldowns. This haunt. Stun that. It's dead again. So I'll give him a chance here to just run by, but no, he's not going to do it. He's determined to kill me. So I'll let him get up his dots. And then I'll just... Why can't I move? Yeah, I'll just reverse that. And then wall. Scrub. if I can get another heal off. Eventually it just kills me because I have no cooldowns, but yeah, I'm gonna kill him again. Good scrub. Alright. So anyway, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, yeah, so we get that 15% wall back, but we still have these options. A larger physical wall, diffuse magic for a magical wall, and then just kind of a perma wall as you're doing damage. So yeah, that making a comeback is great, because that was just a PvP talent for Windwalkers. You know, so having more in PvE is good. And then Touch of Karma is pretty much the same. It does 70% of that, the damage that it absorbs back as nature damage. Absorbs 50% of your max health. So there's still some synergy there with things like medallions that raise your health for a certain amount of time. There's definitely synergy there, so that's cool. Yeah, not a huge amount of changes, but some things returning. You get Expel Harm back as a little bit of an extra heal, which I need to bind. You know, because now we'll have Reverse Harm in PvP and Expel Harm for a little bit of an extra heal, so we'll have both of those. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, Windwalker stuff, overall pretty good. I like what's returning and what's staying. No complaints. Did we look at PvP talents? Yeah, so we still have Reverse, which I need to go put back on because I had it through Conflict and Strife. But now it's not on here, so that would help a huge amount. I mean, that's a big heal. So that would have helped me a lot against that Warlock. Even though he rezzed the third time or whatever, I probably still wouldn't have died because this is such a powerful heal. And the the lock was such a scrub. Yeah, the rest of this still looks the same. So, cool all around, man. I think I'll play some Windwalker for sure. It'll be fun. So, see you guys in the next one.